What's going on in this small tiny nation? Every day we getting somebody coming from another nation. Near and far, they come here and they prosper. Hey. Illegal migrants don't care. I wonder if they were invited here. Broken laws. Who cares? Welcome to the Bahamas, where anything goes and the citizens are sitting in the second row whilst everybody else is treated like first class. Now you see why I'm mad. I mean, this feels like an invasion. They come here and doing better than you and me. No expenses paid, tax free. This been going on since 1973. These people been living more independent than me. They don't care about the law, the natural born citizen of this country. Lousy leaders are to blame, always looking for votes, always crying about something to get in. The blame starts for change. Time for change, time to free ourselves from citizen oppression. Welcome to the Bahamas, where anything goes and the citizens are sitting in the second row whilst everybody else is treated like first class. Nah, you see why I'm mad. I thought they said this land was for Bahamians. What a joke, this is worldwide invasion. Come on and take the whole pie. Keep your eye on the leaders though, cause if it gets dark too early, most likely they just sold the sun out the sky. And if the beach look like gold rocks, it's because they sold all the sand. Greedy, lousy politicians, all they good for is selling off our islands, our beautiful Bahama land. I've been tired, time to change it. I'm giving it one more try. Just want a better Bahamas, just need a future for our sons and daughters. This time around I'm voting for the CEO. Anything is better than what I've gotten over the last 25 years. What a mess, I think it's high time Bohemians are first. I see plenty in this country and all of that is mine. Tired of sitting in the back row while everybody else eating the peas and rice. That's why I vote in CEO. Change ain't coming, change is here, change ain't coming. Change ain't coming, change is here, change ain't coming. Change ain't coming, change is here, change ain't coming. Change ain't coming, change is here, change ain't coming.
Whoa, girls, we out doing it?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's always a pleasure. Thank you for tuning in, being a part of this broadcast. We were shooting ready for next week's Shadow Minister launch, but of course, and we had some technical difficulties, so please bear with us as we work through them because this is important. We all know that this is important. We are presenting to you a vision for a new Bahamas, and today is going to be the same as it always is every week. We're showing you not just the falls of the other side, we're showing you the vision of the new Bahamas. And so today we're going to be by a company that is ready to trans. We've been having conversations with investors and companies from all around the world, so that on day one we are ready to transform this. Day one, we are ready to put. We're not going to be in year four like this government or the previous government, still talking about what we're going to do. We are going to hit the ground running. There were a lot of people, whether you like him or not, who were impressed with the fact that on day one, Trump came in signing off executive orders. And that's what happens when you know what you're going to do and you just get in and you do it. You don't wait several years and then start to do these things. And when it doesn't get done, that you make excuses and say, well, but they didn't let us finish it. Well, that's not going to happen under the COI. We are having conversations, whether it's with education, whether it's finance or crypto. We're having conversations, professionals from all around the world, so that we are able to get going from day one. And you're going to hear from some people today with the plan that's going to put everything that we've been talking about together so that we have one Bahamas. So you know what to do. Use your ad highlights, your ideas. Make sure that know that we are live since are part of this. All right. So highlights, add share, and you share this to make sure that everyone knows what's going on. And so, of course, you are our technical producers. So if there's any technical issues, you know what to do. Let us know in the chat so that we know exactly what's happening. All right. But before we do that, we just have a couple announcements. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have a town hall meeting in Morris Island and in Marsh Harbor. All right. So we're going to be in Morris Island on the 20th. That's Tuesday. And so for those people in Morris Island who just want to hear what our plan is for that fishing community and hear what our vision is, and we also want to hear from you about what's going on in Morris Island. So we're going to have a town hall meeting where you can come out and you can do the issues and you can talk to us and let us know what's going on, because you know that we're going to speak on your behalf. We're not afraid to do so. and we're going to fight for you. Now, we saw an exercise in Moore Island recently where the government into Moores Island and they actually presented some documents to the Bahamian people. And now there's some current concerns by those Moores Islanders as to those documents. Some conveyances were presented to the people in Moores Island, and the people were concerned. And so, what some of them did was they presented the documents to us. And after reading those documents, I also have a concern. Now, I was going to show you the document on this live, but I didn't get a chance to redact the name of the person who was in. So I'm not going to show that to expose them to that situation. But we have the documents, some conveyances. And the first thing that conveyance Mars Island is that conveyance is from the Minister of Housing. That's written from the Minister of Housing to you. The Minister of Housing is not responsible for Crown land, is not responsible for lands or lands and surveys. The Minister of Housing is responsible for encouraging the building of homes, not the transfer of generation land to individuals. We are very concerned with that. We don't know what power they will have to do that. That's confusing. The document says on December 31st, the land was conveyed to you. They came over there, had pomp and circumstance, and then told you that the papers in straight yet. You got to fly to Nassau and then go over there and do some things. All right? I'm concerned. We are so tired of seeing the pomp and circumstance and the big celebration and then hearing, oh, this ain't really going through the way we thought. I'm praying that that is not the case with these land papers. But first and foremost, those land papers are written from the minister to the Minister of Housing. And so we're investigating that to see what the legitimacy of that is and why that would be done. And so we're investigating that, but that we have some serious concerns. We were also told that someone from the office, I don't know what office that is, was telling persons to return, they have to return those documents so that something else could be done to them or turn them so they could be redone in some way. That's the message that started going out there to people. We want the government to clarify that to make sure that these people get what they're entitled to. They reported that there was 216 conveyances handed out. We're hearing from the people there's probably about 60 that was handed out. We are glad when any Bahamians get access to our land, but we want you to realize that that's our land. They're not doing you a favor. That's ours. First, it belongs to you. When the government is giving out land to a few people, we're not impressed. 30,000 people applied for Crown land. It takes nothing from them to issue it. It costs them nothing. So what they're doing is because we're promoting this land transformation, they're trying to just make it seem like, well, we give it to a few people. And that's what they are. A couple people to give something to, and then to make it look like, see, we did a couple people. There's 4 million acres of crown land in this country. 3.5 if you start to remove the wetlands. There's 200,000 Bahamian adults. We can issue land to all of our people. And so we just want to make sure that our Bahamian people are dealt with properly, because that's a serious matter. All right. So Moores Island, we're coming, and so that's on the 20th. Just look on our Facebook page to get further details, or if someone is here who's organizing it, if you can post it and let them know the exact times that we're going to be there. We're going to be there afternoon, all right, in Moores Island, and they'll let you know on our Facebook page exactly where they're going to be, etc. We're also going to be in Marsh Harbor the next day at 7 p.m. And also they'll send, or by the end of this, we'll be able to tell you exactly where we're going to be. All right. Yeah, so that's Marsh Harbor. So we're looking forward to seeing all of you. Marsh Harbor has been living a nightmare recently, and we want to make sure that Marsh Harbor has a government that's going to fight for them. All right, a government is going to fight on their behalf, and so all right. So Marsh Harbor is gym. So 7 p.m. at the Grace Gym in Marsh Harbor. That's on Wednesday, January 21st. So we're going to be there in full force. So come, you have to say, and hear from the VIP lounge. You know where that is. If you're on the come and meet some of our leadership team. We're looking forward to being there with you, with all of you, and of course, ladies and gentlemen, the big day is next week Sunday. Team in full force to our headquarters. We're going to start to release our shadow ministers. We're going to let you know and see that we can actually govern this country. Every 5 years, the PLP brings you some candidates and brings you some people and just tells you to just vote for them because the party sent them. And that doesn't work out. There's some people who say, oh, we should vote for the candidate. If you like the candidate, vote for them. It doesn't help if you have a good candidate in a bad party. A party that's not looking out for you, even if that candidate gives out some backpacks, even if they make sure the park is clean, your country is suffering. That's why in all these 50 years, we don't have a hospital. That's why we don't have beds. That's why we can't have education. That's why we have a problem because we keep focusing on things. What we need is a party that has the future of this nation, a party that's going to get this right. We can fix this. And so, starting next week, Sunday, it's going to be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We are going to have 5 days of vision. We're not talking about any other parties. 5 days of pure vision. We're going to introduce you to the Bahamians who are going to run this country. Some of you are saying you don't know who the candidates are. You want to know what they're good for. Now you're going to see them. We're going to introduce them to you, and you're going to see that the COI has the best team to run this nation, the best team to take us into the new Bahamas. So that's next week, Sunday at 5 p.m., and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 7, the normal time. We start our shadow ministers, all of them, who are gonna be running the finance, national security, immigration, education, healthcare, and some new areas that's gonna blow your mind. And so you got to tune in to see. Just a couple more things, and then I'm going to introduce some international investors who are ready to transfer. Um, I just want to make it clear to everyone because I've been asked about this. All of our supporters are watching. There's a deal that is being planned for the Port Authority. The FNM is by their third port. And this one is not just a port; it's the Port Authority. They're going to say I was holding up the PLP sign. I was actually saying three. All right. um, the FNM is making plans to purchase the Port Authority. Don't mind the faces you see. They're the front men, in my opinion, for what they're doing. That's what they always do. You remember the FNM took all of they worked We just want to do a quick sound check here, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So, all right, looks like we're good. Hello. Okay, looks like with the broadcast. Look like we're back up again. But we were having some issue with the broadcast. I'm so sorry. We don't know uh, what that challenge is. Okay, we're gonna let me just make a quick change of the device because the sound isn't coming through. All right, I'm sorry. We have to just make a little switch. Let's leave on that one, please. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. We were having some technical difficulties, but we should. Okay, we should be good now. We're hoping that we are. But thank you for your patience with dealing with these technical difficulties. We don't know what's happening with the internet today. But ladies and gentlemen, I started to talk to you about the FNM that is buying the Port Authority. They're buying. That's their third port that they are buying. Can someone deal with that, please? Just press leave on that one there. All right. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have to repeat this, and let's get your comments up there so we could make sure we can see what you're saying as we move on. So, ladies and gentlemen, the FNM bought the ports in this country. When we used to have the shipping companies downtown, they've now taken those shipping companies, they consolidated, give them to the oligarchs so that they control. That's the first. The second port is the cruise ship port. They took that and they consolidated that, and now they're going to be making money with our ports for a very long time. That was a plan of theirs. Lastly, they're looking to take the port authority. We want the Bahamian people to reject that. The FNM always takes on a big level. They talk about the PLP taking, working with the gangsters and that kind of stuff, which is also bad. But the FNM takes on a level that affects this entire nation. And we want you to reject that. We don't want you to be fooled by the names that are coming out there. They're saying that John Boswick, that's the FNM. They're saying the granddaughter of Rupert Roberts, that's the FNM. And they're saying the guy that owns the canoe company, that's the FNM. All right. Remember, Canoe was the company that Minis actually did the COVID visas and sent all the money to them. And there was a scandal as it relates to that. The FNM before election getting ready. If you let them get back in, it's going to be a problem. I'm not saying that we need to let the PLP get it. They got to go. All right. But I don't want to be some people say this one is so bad. They would rights to themselves. Both of them we have access. Aware of we're going to be North Island and Abaco. All right. And lastly, we saw that Robert Caron stepped down from MICAL and the Southern Islands. And this live is going to be beneficial to the Southern Islands. So I hope you're ready to hear as we move. of a sudden, I have to my company to carbon credits into politics from it. Yeah, really want solutions. They want the money. What solutions to this country, and that's what we plan on doing. As I said, make sure that we're not getting all you. It's a whole thing. Um, okay. Looks like we're cutting out again. We don't. Oh my God! Today. Okay, now I understand. No, but I'm not on that. I'm on that. I should try to go on that. Okay, we're cutting out. Not that. I should try to go on that. Okay, so it looks like we're up. We're so sorry about these technical issues. Uh, so we decided to go on the stall, and we'll see if it'll be any better. But the weather is bad right now. It's raining hard out there because I can hear it in here, so I know it's raining hard. So we're sorry about that. Um, but the internet is going up and down. We don't know nothing. I should try to go on that. Okay, so it looks like we're up. We're so sorry, but okay, all right. So it looks like we're okay. All right, so we're live again. Hopefully this stays the way it needs to stay. So sorry about these technical issues today. That's why we started today. But anytime we have these shows where we're educating the public, we start these kind of, right. Saying I'm going to do the them taking over the port authority and having a government within the governments. We don't need that. All right. We have to fight that with our hearts and our souls. All right. We don't need that to happen. So these people who are coming like, oh, we're Bahamians, and no, they're the Bahamians that always take advantage of what we have and keep it for them and their families and themselves. So we gotta transform this nation, and it's gonna take something different, doing something different to get it to get it done. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna is going berserk. I'm so sorry. Um, okay. This. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see how we can continue with this live. but it's going up and down, and it seems to be problematic. We don't know what's happening. Yeah. Let us try to work out this technical issue quickly. Just give us a second. All right. So we should if Starlink Starlink works through these kinds of storms, so we don't have a problem. But we weren't on Starlink initially. Know what's going on? Okay, so let's just try to see what we can see. If, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce to you. I think they're still on here. Yes. So I'm going to introduce. Uh, I'm going to in mind. It certainly blew my mind. It was a part of our Vision 2030 plan. And it was so amazing. They went and read our plan and they see that the same thing we want to do, they want to do. And but they want to do it in a much better way than we had even planned. And there's some people who think that, some of the vision that we have is too forward thinking, because they've taught us to think small. They've taught us to think like nothing can be done. We should only get some parks, build a couple schools maybe, build a couple low cost housing, and that's all the government should try to accomplish. But it certainly blew my mind. It was a part of our Vision 330 plan, and it was so amazing. It's up and down, but we'll try to work through this. Right? These guys on whichever internet is, but we have uh, two guys on here. One of them is Serge Murkoff, and another one is Colin Breeze. Let's see if we can get them in and get this system working properly. So, okay, Serge, welcome. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you well. Thank you, Lincoln.
Okay, perfect.
Can you
Your
hear me
broadcast may
well?
be better than ours.
Gentlemen, good afternoon. I can hear a few words at a time from Lincoln. I think I can hear Serge better, but as is often the case, when it rains, it pours, and I've lost my camera. I apologize.
Okay, that's Colin who was
I
talking. Just to
can.
know what's
I'm
going
good.
on.
Ready to go.
Let me just give me 1 sec. Let me try to switch
Sure.
internet services again and give us something. 1 sec. Let me try to switch
Sure.
internet and give. Okay, so let's see how the service is now. We should be good to go. And Colin, maybe you could leave and then join again, and then you should be able to get your camera back up probably. But Serge, thank you for joining us.
My
Are
pleasure.
you able to hear us?
We can hear you very well now.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. So it's a little bit about what this. I mean, I'll introduce uh, to the Bahamian public what you guys are offering. Something that we're offering in Vision 2030 in our transportation plan. And I know you want to read that plan. Um,
Y-
home what made America racist all of America. What hold back is the fact that islands are separate and not connected. That is one of the major issues that we have as a nation. That you can't get from one part of the Bahamas to another part of the Bahamas in the same day in many instances. Sometimes you travel to a southern island and you have to wait 3 or 4 days for another plane to come and you have to hope they come. You don't get mailboat services every day. And so you're not connected. And so what we did in Vision 2030 in our transportation plan that we've presented to the public is that one of the things that we said we would do is create a ferry service, a fast ferry service. And we're not talking about the Bohingi and these fast ferries that they have, they are slow. We're talking about something evolutionary, not revolutionary, evolutionary. The next dispensation of fast ferries. You're going to be able to go from anywhere in the Bahamas to anywhere in the Bahamas in the same day. And sometimes in a matter of minutes, you're going to be able to be connected. We're going to be able to move people to every island every day. We're going to be able to move food and our products, produce that is farmed in Long Island, in the Southern Islands, etc., every day. If someone is ill and needs a medical emergency, you're going to be able to move. We're going to be able to move because we're talking about water. And these boats, water, there's two types. One foil that cuts through the water, but it's over the water. But one flies over the water about 10 meters. And so they move fast. And so it's not a plane, it's not a boat, it's both. The plane and the boat has evolved. And so this is evolution. And so that's not the good part about it. The great part is that it's going to be fueled by water. You grows here in time, Southern Islands. That's about the if you vote for it. For those who wanted to live in Eleuthera but commute, that's about to change. Rutherford, come and join me on the stage. Graham Rutherford is one of our visionaries. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to introduce to Mr. Sergio Murkoff their very interesting plan to transform the Bahamas. Serge, I'm sorry, I call you Sergio. Serge,
Sure,
welcome.
yeah. Thank you very much, Lincoln. Thank you. And it's an honor for us to meet all of you and to present our vision that miraculously, things are probably made in heaven, coincides with what we have been bringing up, building and developing, and now bringing to the market. So my name is Serge Markov. I am founder and CEO of MRKV Group, which is presenting the solutions for island connectivity, green energy, technology, and education. Maybe we can go through the slides, some of the slides, Lincoln, if you can help me to present those.
Okay, I'll pull them up for you. I'll pull them up for you. Just give me one sec.
If you'd like, I also can be presenting if you choose to. And while we are looking to put together the slides up, I have to tell you that every single thing that Lincoln Bay has been speaking about our boats, our power, ability to travel within the Bahamas on the same day, bring cargo goods, deal with medical evacuation or medical transport, it's all true. And in the next couple of minutes, you will see what we would like to bring to the Bahamas. That Lincoln has been speaking.
I'm not getting it.
Here we go.
Sir, just give me one sec. I just want to change internet providers again one more time so
Sure.
we can solve this internet issue. Just give me one sec.
Of course. The same day.
Serge, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
We're going to connect to the slide. Just give me to pull it up. Okay. So, your slide now.
Great.
Sharing the first slide with you.
Yes, thank you. So, as we said, our vision is all about bringing island connectivity, green energy, green power, green electricity, high-paying technology jobs that comes through our vessels and through our green power, and also training, because we would require create academy. That's what we always wanted to do, even before we met Lincoln. Create a training academy that will enable Bahamians to know how to operate, service both the island, the transportation services and the vessels, and also the hydrogen generation, which is the green energy. Let's go to maybe the next slide.
It's heavy over us.
Shall we go to the next slide? Lincoln, if easy, I can operate the slides. Maybe it might be better connectivity on my side. Shall we go to the next slide? If easy, I can. Okay, so I can operate. Maybe it might be better.
Yeah, just go ahead. You can talk. They can hear you.
Okay, very good. So what is MRKV? It's all about marine mobility and power. We build zero emission passenger and cargo vessels, and we also generate fuel on site that powers those vessels. They run on hydrogen. Hydrogen is zero emission fuel. But in addition to running on hydrogen, we also generate electricity on the same site in desalinate water. What our goal is with our technology, we'd like to improve the lives of everyday life of Bahamian people immediately, today, not in some distant future. And this will create island connectivity, create jobs, and bring high technology education as soon as we can start rolling out our solution. Next slide. Can you hear me? I'm anxious to show more. Okay. There is a major delay, Lincoln. It'll be probably better if I can, right? Slide? Okay, now I see. Okay, good. So can you bring the slide a little bit lower? So it's the full slide on the screen. Okay.
Internet service.
Okay. So how we evolved. I hope you can hear me. We were created, the company was created in Jupiter, Florida. We evolved, raised first financing, signed the first airline as a client, expanded to new vessels, signed the first letter of intent with the island nation in Asia. And what's happening today? Today, the only mode of transportation that has not experienced disruption, it's maritime. you have drones in ground transportation. You have bullet trains in Europe and in Asia with rail. You have drones in aviation. But in maritime, everything is the same. Ships are too slow, they're old fashioned, and there's the same ships all day. So what we do, we're going to change the maritime transportation with zero emission fast vessel and hydrogen fuel generation. And why hydrogen? Hydrogen is the most promising fuel in the world. But until now, you either don't have infrastructure to carry hydrogen, or you don't have enough vessels or cars that run on hydrogen. So we solve this issue because we do both. And this is, ladies and gentlemen, how our solution looks like. I hope you can see my screen.
Yeah, yes, we can see. Well, they're see. I'm sharing it. I'm sharing it, so they're seeing what I'm showing now.
Okay, got it. So I was
Internet problem seems to be
good,
solved.
good. So what we were talking here is about that in ground transportation, in rail, in air. There's been a lot of change. There are electric cars in the ground transport. There are bullet trains. There are drones. But maritime is the only industry that has not experienced any substantial change. These are still same old-fashioned boats. They are slow. They run on fossil fuels. They poison the environment. And the most important thing, they're not effective. It takes you forever to go from one island to another. So this is where we come in. So we are specifically focusing on changing the way the maritime industry, marine industry operates. And we not only bring the vessels, but we also bring and generate fuel on site for those vessels. And this fuel is hydrogen. We can move to the next slide.
Go ahead.
Okay, and as I was saying here, what we do is that we solve the issues of hydrogen fuel generation, which is supply, and use, which is demand. So because we build both vessels and we build the hydrogen generation facility at the same location, we call it hydrogen hub, we solve these issues. So imagine you will have on an island an oil, a refinery, and a gas station. And we all hosted within 20 and 40-foot containers. So it takes no space. And you'll see later that it can be floating or it can be on land. We can move to the next slide.
Go ahead.
So if you click here on if you can click below on the link, you will see a fly over view from a top of what our all right,
we lost it. Hold on.
go back. Oops.
I think what to do is I'll show them the video outside of that. Just hold on a sec. I know that this is a video you sent. I'll do it separately.
Okay, very good. So we can go back to the slides.
Right, then we'll go back to the slide. So just hold on one sec. I'll play the video for them. So it shows how this whole thing works.
So as I was saying, we solve the issues of transportation and power, and we do it all within it. So what you see here is one of our two vessels. Hopefully the quality is good.
Yes, they can see it.
Okay, so it glides over water on a hydrofoil, and it does not use either gasoline or it doesn't use petrol gas, and it doesn't use diesel. It goes at 55 miles per hour, not touching water on underwater foils. And again, it's operated at up to 35, 40 knots, crest free, so there's no shaking when you go. You don't break your back. This is an 8-seater. We have designs for 12-seater and 20-seater. So this is our junior vessel that runs on hydrogen. Hydrogen is gas that is generated by mixing air and water. And the only residue of hydrogen is steam. That's it. So this vessel class is called Seabiscuit. We will post this video, Lincoln. We would be able to post the video and presentation later, right? So people can go back and see. Right.
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes,
we
of
can
course.
maybe move on to other slides. This vessel
Yes.
class is called Seabiscuit.
All right, so we'll go back
Yeah.
to the slides. Go ahead.
Okay, we can move forward. Yeah.
Showing the floating docks.
So this is a floating dock. So you see here, hydrogen hub. Inside this tent is several 20, 40-foot containers, and they generate fuel right here on a floating dock, or they can do it on land. There's also, we can put it on land, or we can put it on a float. And here you see two types of our vessel: a smaller vessel, which is a hydrofoil similar to the one you've seen, and the other is our flagship vessel, Sichita. The difference with Sichita, and we'll see how it flies over water without touching water at all, unlike the Seabiscuit hydrofoil vessel. So the Sichita flies over water. It takes from water as a seaplane, and then it goes above water, about 10 feet over water, on an air cushion. And this is the close-up view both of the vessel itself. If you can move a little bit higher, the slide. If you can move slide a little bit up. So you see the full-size Sichita vessel, and on the right you see a smaller version, a prototype that we built. Can you hear me? I'll repeat if I need to. So the Sichita, it's more of a bus than anything else. It looks like a plane, but it's not a plane.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, we can move past this slide. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I don't see the presentation. Is it up? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Go back a little bit. Go back to the previous slide. Yeah. Stop here, please.
Yeah.
Great. So on the left, as I was saying, it's 155 miles per hour boat that looks like a plane, but it's not a plane. It takes off water, and then it goes into the air and rides about 10 feet over water in a continuous air cushion. This technology is not new. It's been developed in the past in Europe in the 60s and 70s, but it was dormant. So we revived that technology and using hydrogen fuel that we generate inside. So as you can see here, it can go up to 500 miles without refueling. And refueling will take just a few minutes. It accommodates between 20 to 27 people. And on the right, you see a smaller prototype that we already built. We can move to the next slide. Again,
Yeah.
500 miles.
So this travels pretty fast. It travels at 155 miles per hour.
That's right. That's right. Okay, so this is, and what you see here is the video that we shown earlier. This is 45 miles per hour or 35, 40 knots. Also very, very fast vessel. We have a racing prototype here on the left that you saw, and you'll see on the right here the white colored, very futuristic looking commercial Seabiscuit. And this will accommodate between 20 and up to 12 and 20 people, depending on the configuration. And this can go at 40 miles per hour for 155 miles without refueling. But refueling will take 5 minutes, and you don't need to wait, to fuel to be delivered, because it's generated on site in a 20 and 40 foot container. So it's an evolution, it's on the border of evolution and revolution. Why is it evolution? Hydrogen generation exists. These vessels are known. We are the only one and the first in the world that combined them put them together and ready to roll this out. We cannot think of a better market, better location where it would be at home than Bahamas. And it would not only generate and produce instant connectivity for passenger traffic and for cargo traffic, it will also enable connectivity from the Bahamas to other parts of the Caribbean, starting with the US. Imagine if this technology is pioneered in the Bahamas, roll out throughout the Caribbean as a Bahamian project, and you provide connectivity both within the islands and internationally between other islands and between US and the Bahamas as well. Imagine what it would do for hospitality market, when you can pretty much would be able to go to the Bahamas from Florida for lunch and come back on the same boat, all in the matter of 2 hours, etc.
Wow.
That's what it is. Let's move to the next slide. So you just seen 2 of our vessels. Okay, what this is a sea float. It is basically a passenger or cargo terminal that's also operated on hydrogen. It's a slow-moving laguna, bay, quay vessel that serves as a terminal, as a docking station for passengers or for cargo. Therefore, we do not need in our solution any marina or port infrastructure. Passengers or cargo can be embarked, disembarked, loaded, unloaded into these terminals, into these floats, and then they are moving. So they're slow-moving terminals or lounges that can then approach the shore, and they have a retractable ramp, so we can take people on and off without any marina or port at any location. So it's almost irrelevant whether you have a marina, whether you have a port, and can pull up to the beach. It can also be used for construction. So imagine there's new development on an island or a quay that's previously had no transport infrastructure. So we will pull up one of these terminals on shore, bring construction materials, crews, power, because we generate power on site. And what this will do, ladies and gentlemen, it will allow parts of Bahamas that were previously underdeveloped be easily developed without the need of an airport, without need of a port. It will be almost instant development. It will be instant economic development. And will produce jobs. This will produce power, electricity, that will fuel Starlink, etc., etc. So this is the solution which we developed because we needed it for our transportation or power. But this is a standalone solution that can be used for hospitality, for passenger transport, for cargo transport, generating power even on these floats, etc. So this is, and it's very powerful. It can has a floating capacity, what you see, 200 tons. Yeah, and this
Wow.
let me mention you just one thing. Each of these floats can go without refueling for 2 months at a cost, without refueling for 2 months, moving at 7 miles per hour. And the cost, because we generate, remember, we generate fuel on site, it will be cost of between $500 to $700 operating it for 2 months without refueling.
Wow.
This is on the border of evolution, revolution. And
Yeah.
so this can be moored outside the laguna or bay or outside of an island while the construction is going on. So the boats, hopefully our boats or any other boats, can bring materials, equipment to the new area of development, new quay, new island, new coastline, and will produce power there while this development is being done. So imagine you citizens of the Bahamas, those that get the land that Lincoln you were talking about, right?
Yes.
They will be able to develop their property and commercialize it all for their own use in the matter of months, not years, because we bring power, we bring supplies, we bring crews. Okay, so this is instant. It could be commercial, it could be personal use. And of course, this will produce major economic development because one builds, the other builds, you have a community. This community would require services, it requires commerce, etc. So this is a very important element of our overall solution. I'd like to move to the next step, to the next phase, and this is this by the way how the hub looks like. Can you press a full screen?
Full screen.
Yeah, in the PowerPoint.
You want me to make it bigger?
Yeah, just press full screen. If it won't work, we can look at this later.
This is not full screen. This is not PowerPoint. It's actually a PDF.
Oh, it's a PDF. Okay, in the full screen you can see that. All right, we can do this later. We can do it, put it online. But this is a close-up of a hub. So inside of this, you see a tent, but inside there are two 40-foot containers. Let's move to the maybe next slide.
Okay. So this hub is what generates the energy. What is this hub for?
Let's move to the next slide. I'll show you.
Yeah.
I'll show you and everybody else. So
we're there.
What you see, yes. So inside, if you look closely, we have animation video showing it, but not in the PDF. So under the tent, if you do a close-up, if you zoom in, you see several containers with equipment in it. Yeah.
Oops.
That's okay. Yeah.
Yes.
So there's just basically containers. Inside there's equipment. This equipment can generate hydrogen fuel for the boats, both the launch and the fast moving to other boats. Inside these containers, again, tent is just a tent to protect from sun, from wind, or whatever, right? So it can generate fuel right here on site for the boats, number one. Number two, it can co-generate electricity for the island, so you just run a cable if it's floating. If it's on shore, you run a cable, you plug into the local microgrid. And it can also desalinate water. And it, as a byproduct, it's hot water. So generating fuel for the boat, it can desalinate salt water, and it would create hot water. All of these things can be stored, right? And this is so the only thing we need power to produce hydrogen, and this is where solar comes in. Solar can be onshore or it can be floating. We have a solution when this is floating because to produce hydrogen fuel, to desalinate water, to produce power, you need power as well. But again, we can go into details on this later.
So I want to just make sure that I spread it out for persons so they can understand. These containers actually using water with salt water. They desalinate the salt water because I can imagine that salt water isn't the best to use for this process because of
No,
the sodium
right.
um, and the chlorine, and so scientifically you don't want to use that. So you want to do the
You want
desalination.
desalinate water? Yeah,
Yes, desalinate it first, and
right.
then you use that water to make hydrogen by splitting it. So that means that you're using water for power. And I want everyone to understand that because in the Bahamas, they don't ever focus on other means of getting electricity because, um, you know, certain people benefit from us using oil, using diesel, using bunker C, etc. So we don't think that there's other ways to do this. Not only can you create a fuel, meaning hydrogen, for these vessels, but you can actually use it for neighbors. Is that so?
Absolutely. So we can have a desalination micro set because in order to launch this, you need 10 tons of fresh water. You don't
Hmm.
necessarily need to generate to desalinate water right there. You can have a tank with the fresh water that we within our ecosystem has desalinated, right? To
Yeah.
jumpstart to jumpstart the production of hydrogen. Once it's going, it produces water. It produces hot water. So you don't if for whatever you might need hot water, it's a byproduct of hydrogen production, right?
Hmm.
But in addition, one of those containers will be a separate desalination unit. It can all be domiciled within this hub. Again, everything that you see, it can be floating on water, or it can be on land. For the benefit of saving space on land, that's very valuable. We put it on water, but it can be on land. But the beauty of this is that it's modular. You know, capex, capital construction, right? It's a
Yes.
big capital outlay. You basically putting money into the soil, and it's a large expenditures. Our approach is unique. Why? Because you put first set of equipment within these containers. If the demand increases, if you need more power on a new quay or new resort or new island or new development, you increase the number of containers. And you increase the number of containers, increase the production of hydrogen, electricity, desalination, etc. But gets better. If you uh, want to build something more permanent, then this equipment that you used initially to set up here, you move to another location, so you don't lose the investment that either the government or a company has made initially. You move this equipment elsewhere, and it continues to work. The only thing you need is a concrete pad on land or float that we provide.
Nice.
That's how it works.
Nice. I love it. It has so much potential for so much different things and so much things that we've been talking about as a party. Before we go on, Graham, you want to jump in there anywhere? What are you seeing? What are you
Can you hear
hearing
us?
from this?
Can you
Yes,
hear
you
us?
can hear us perfectly.
So my question is, it's modular, it can scale up Could we use it in small islands to make the cleanest drinking water for the people,
Yes,
like
absolutely.
Ragged Island?
Yeah, absolutely.
And can we use it to make energy for electricity that would be clean instead of burning fossil fuels?
Yeah, that's exactly what it's destined for. We have H2 Hub, which is a relatively large installation. Uh, we can produce within three containers 1.2 megawatt on site. It's considered a large setup, right? If you want to make it up to five, you just increase them, you put two more containers. And you know the footprint of containers next to nothing. You just need concrete pad if it's on shore, on our float. But if you need something really quote unquote private, very small, we have a solution called H2 Hub Micro. It's in the presentation as well somewhere, where you do it for a small um, uh, residential building or community, or you do one central and you run power through the micro off grid. It can desalinate water, number one. It can co-generate electricity, and it would also fuel the boats that either you have or that will come to fuel. Yeah. So it could be not only the cost, it could be even a revenue for the community, because you might not use all the electricity, you might not use all the fresh water that you generate. You might even, sell back to whoever is the entity that might need fuel for the vessels.
Wow, that's powerful. I'm hearing so much from this. I'm hearing so much. We started talking about transportation, and now there's so much solutions for everything that we need in the Bahamas, and a way to do it in an eco-friendly way. What I'm also hearing from this is carbon credits.
Yeah.
I'm hearing a lot of money from carbon credits and a lot of benefits from carbon credits. What say you, Serge?
Oh, absolutely. We are a use case, a business case for carbon credits. Well, the problem is that you don't have enough application where you can apply for the benefit of the country or community, all the way from regular citizen to community to a business or to the government. We just came up with the technology, and we came up not only the technology but the business model, the business case that would makes sense for everybody. It makes sense for a regular citizen because they do not need to be dependent on central supply of anything, whether it's a business. Yeah, of course, we're gonna go head to head with some of the legacy providers, but even they, I have to say, even they will see a benefit for them to have a pilot project using this technology, see how they can decarbonize their legacy business, and they will have earn some monetary benefit or earn some non-tangible benefit
Hmm.
that they'll
Yeah.
be able to report to their constituencies or to their shareholders or to the investors that actually they have a clear roadmap to go green in their home market.
Awesome. This is powerful. So again, we started off talking about transportation, and we need to connect our islands. I think that the biggest use case for this that most people are going to be using this is going to be our tourists. This is going to become one of the top attractions in the world. I think. Can you imagine traveling from Nassau to Exuma on a boat that flies over the water, and then you can go and swim with the pigs and come back the same day? That's going to be an attraction to fly over that water. I was coming in an airplane with two persons. One person, he was coming here for the first time. He was a Jewish rabbi. He was a businessman, and there was another lady who's been here before. She came here to get married, but she wanted to come back. She's from Canada, and when he got over the water, he was in the window seat. When he got over the Bahamas waters, he was blown away. He lives in England. He's like, this water is so beautiful. He's never seen nothing like it. He was absolutely blown away. So I think that if they're able to get that close to the water and fly over it, I think that this is something that we are going to, as a country, going to benefit from and make a lot of money from this. Tourists are going to want to do this. So that's one area for tourism to be able to do this, and this is doable and is in reach, and it costs us almost nothing to do because we're getting energy fuel from water. We also had, a vision to be able, in terms of tourism, to be able to develop the southern islands. This is going to make that possible because now all of our islands are going to be connected. Let me remind everyone who is listening, it's tens of thousands of people watching this all over the Bahamas right now. Let me remind all of you about our vision. We had talked about treating the airplanes, the airlines, like a bus service or like a train service with train stops. And so if you're going from the southern island, those planes only sail only fly the southern islands, and if you go hop to another island, you stay on if you're not getting off, and then you come off on your stop. And so that way we could have the plane to just jump to the southern islands and jump back, and that way is affordable to be able to move that around. Then if you want to jump off to the central islands, you can also do that and be able to move in the same day to get to from Inagua to one of the central islands. Or you can stay on and get to one of the northern islands. So in the same day, you can get from Inagua to New Providence or Inagua to Free Grand Bahama. But now with this solution, you're going to be able to do that on these boats that fly low over the water, about 3 meters over the water, so about 10 feet over the water. The cost goes down to nothing because the biggest cost that we have with Bahamas Air is fuel. That's the biggest cost, and so now that cost is minimized greatly, and we have these fast boats, 155 miles per hour, as he said, that can. Some of the boats operate in the Southern Islands, some operate in the Central Islands, and now you can get to anywhere in the Bahamas on the same day, and the cost is minimal. And because we know that tourists, you can join us up here if you want to say something. Come. And because we know that the tourists are going to be using this, that's going to give us the scale. You can stand right behind us. That's going to give us the scale that we need to be able to take this to another level. Go ahead.
You could offset.
Bring him a chair right here.
You could offset the price further because if it's making the purest drinking water, right? And if it's providing electricity, so the people buying the water on the island and paying for the more affordable electricity, because it'll be much cheaper than using fossil fuel. You just brought the ticket down further because it's being subsidized by citizens paying their light bill, right?
Yes.
But here's one we didn't think about. Some people have a fear of flying high. Now they can
Yes.
fly low.
Absolutely, yes.
Here's one of our biggest issue.
Serge Graham Rutherford is one of our candidates, and he will be one of our cabinet ministers. We won't announce his position until next week, but you and him will definitely be working closely together. And also, Mr. Robert Brown is one of our candidates, and he'll definitely be one of our shadow ministers. And so he's joined us, and we have a studio audience in the front of us with other candidates and other people sitting in front of us. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. It's great to meet all of you. And believe me, we will be supporting each and everyone in bringing this affordable, sustainable, practical, and pragmatic modes of transportation and ways of generating power in the sun water to the Bahamas. Just want to say that.
Yes. So I just want to address one or two things before you. Thanks to be on the platform with Graham Rutherford and the President, Mr. Lincoln Bain. My name is Bobby Brown again. We have looked at, actually, we're working on something presently right now, Serge. In the Bahamas, we have a situation where we are dealing with fossil fuel. We're looking at 2030. The Bahamas will be invaded with cars, and we're looking at carpooling because of fossil fuel. And so we're looking for cleaner air. There's one company that is looking at the LNG that is trying to reduce fossil fuel. Now, I was speaking to a gentleman, if you know it, and I'm glad to hear that we are now looking at this transportation going to these islands and how you produce the energy. And we were looking at that too, Graham Rutherford, which for electricity, because water produce electricity,
Clean.
clean energy. So with the energy that with the electricity fuel that we're using now, is going to be they're trying to reduce that as it relates to fossil fuel. But I think this program here that we are introducing tonight, we need to really look at that for the entire Bahamas.
Well,
Graham
we
Rutherford.
should send a challenge out.
Yes.
We're getting ready to spend a lot of the Bahamian people's money to put an LNG power plant
That's
by
right.
the fish fry. It still pollutes, but not as bad as other fuels.
Right,
But here's a solution that does not pollute at all,
at all. Zero.
but it also has a benefit that it can fuel the boat or the plane to take you to the islands, and it can be scaled up that we could use it to power the whole of Nassau. And clean.
Let me
Right.
make a few comments. What you're saying is exactly right. It's precisely accurate, precisely right. What we're doing is that we're creating an ecosystem. Can you hear me okay?
Yes,
Yes,
perfectly. The storm is gone, so it seems like the internet issues went along with the storm.
Okay, got it.
We had a thick storm over us when we began.
That's why we need to produce enough power to store it in case locally, seriously, locally.
Yes.
Everything that you're saying is like in my mind, it's check, 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 check. And I will bring you some facts. In this hydrogen development of hydrogen economy technology and development, many countries relied in the previous administration in the US, in Europe, they're all relying on subsidies. They're relying on subsidies because they build huge mega giga projects. And then some of their friendly companies or whatever, they try to invest based on subsidies, etc. Then subsidies are gone, and all of a sudden there is no green economy anymore. The uniqueness of our approach is a decentralized fuel generation and decentralized on-site power generation. Decentralized, that's the key word, on-site. So there's a mega project in centralized, huge pipeline, huge plants that cost billions of dollars. And there is a decentralized. And decentralized give you independence, and decentralized give you power and reliability because you're not dependent on supply chain. We are focusing on marine vessels and on marine power. But because our approach is coastal and island, it was not planned that way. This is how our evolution was carried out. It looks like what we're creating in hydrogen in coastal and island, the same thing that Elon Musk created with their supercharger network and their own cars. We're just doing it in the coastal and island markets, but not on battery, but on hydrogen, right? And the other thing what I want to mention, and this will be totally the dream come true. There are leading car manufacturers. You started to talk about ground transportation. This is not our territory, but I think this would benefit Bahamas. There are car manufacturers, namely Toyota and Hyundai, and now BMW. They produce hydrogen cars. If you were to if we developed our coastal and island hydrogen generation infrastructure, we can invite, and I'm in contact with some executives, very high level in these car manufacturers. We can invite these car manufacturers to come and bring their hydrogen generation, hydrogen powered cars to the Bahamas. So, and then there are some construction equipment manufacturers like JCB and Toyota and others that are also powered by hydrogen and not by battery. So this
Okay,
is a
Serge.
high vision, but nevertheless.
Serge, that is a great idea, because when we look at carpooling, which we are trying to introduce at this point because of fossil fuel, and as you're speaking about hydrogen, which again will reduce the pollution of zero.
Zero.
All right.
It's all zeros.
Yeah. So we could now come up with a solution for those persons who are driving vehicles. How we could try to trade embargo that
You incentivize them to buy a car that doesn't pollute.
doesn't
Speak up,
pollute.
speak up. Yeah.
Or you
You see?
incentivize them to buy a hydrogen car, which doesn't pollute.
Yeah.
Hydrogen comes from water.
That's right.
And so the space shuttle that leaves the
Yes.
Earth and goes out of space, that's hydrogen.
Hydrogen.
It's
right.
simply oxygen and hydrogen. And the byproduct of burning those two is steam, right?
It's the-
And I just want to say that one of Serge's partners works with Elon Musk on these kind of things on SpaceX.
That's right. Some of
Yeah.
the gentlemen on the call who initially made the introduction. This is a Floridian family that are the one of the utmost authorities in the world in hydrogen generation, production, storing, etc. This family had been involved in hydrogen since the 60s and 70s, the first programs in aerospace, and they continue to work with this technology for aerospace. So we're bringing aerospace grade to everyday life.
Yeah, and I think he also invented the first hydrogen plane.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so Serge, he understands we're a bunch of islands, an archipelago. And our biggest problem with power generation is getting fuel from somewhere in the world to the central island, Nassau, down to all the other islands. And it's very expensive. What you're saying is we could set up a series of microgrids using your hydrogen generator, basically.
That's right. We can go as small or as big as we choose to, because
So basically, each one of the islands, the small islands, could take water out of the sea
Yeah.
and make electricity, and they wouldn't boat to bring fuel.
They don't need to bring fuel.
drinking water.
They can, believe it or not, the byproduct, and I can only say it, but hopefully one day we're all going to experience it and demonstrate. But you generate fuel and you generate electricity, and the byproduct of this is water that you can drink. How cool is this?
Wow.
But think about it. It's deeper. Your byproduct, because we were looking at transportation to all the islands, connectivity happening.
One Bahamas.
I mean, you go from Miami to Bimini in 15 minutes at 155.
Yeah.
And then you can go to Nassau, then you can go to Eleuthera or Exuma. But the byproduct of the transportation ends up being an energy solution for the individual islands and microgrids that have clean fuel made from the water next to the island. Plus, they get drinking water. Plus, if incentivized, saying no VAT or duty on a car that has zero emission hydrogen car, you make the fuel for your car.
So then that helps
Right.
with agriculture too.
And we also, if possible, provide free electricity.
or super affordable.
And imagine I'm very attuned to geopolitical developments around the world. Imagine what it would do to Bahamas as a nation, as the first country in the world that not was some high, in exchange for some government or multilateral World Bank grant, but in a practical manner have brought uh, highly profitable vessels, because they move without resistance from water, so they don't spend even hydrogen, low cost fuel to move. They move faster. So zero emission power, zero emission transportation, boats that move times faster than existing any other boats in the world,
Wow.
and also solve the issues of drinkable water. I mean, this is, if Bahamas were to implement this, will be produce enormous economic growth, enormous. I'll give you one example. I did a lot of research, and I'm now in Miami area, right where we started. To go from Miami to Bimini fast, you can take seaplane or you can take helicopter. You know the cost of this 15-minute trip? $18,000 to $20,000. This is what people pay to get to Bahamas from Florida. Yeah, imagine what we would do, what kind of boom it would produce in terms of visits and hospitality and trade between United States and Bahamas. Just United States and Bahamas.
Serge, I just want to reiterate to what you're saying. That sounds really good. The next part that I'd like to hear, as far as servicing, uh, we'll be operating these equipment, the boat, and everything like that. Would we be trained on how to
Yeah,
operate them?
thank you.
What about services?
I'm so grateful that I asked this question,
Yeah.
because that was one last slide, the point that I was not able to show address. And this is training and education. Is there a way, Lincoln, to show that
Yes.
slide?
Yes, I'll pull it up.
This is new technology. Closer to the end. This is new technology that needs to be,
You can join us.
yeah, here. Yeah.
While,
Can
while
you
that's
zoom out a little bit?
I'm wondering, will there be future opportunity for Bahamian ownership? You know, we're big on Bahamian ownership.
Oh yeah,
Can
we
you
get to all of that.
Zoom out a little bit. Zoom out. Yeah, make it.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
Yeah. Great.
Is it okay to chime question?
Yeah, one sec. He wants to answer a question, then we'll open the floor.
We'll be happy to answer any question. So what you see here, and believe it, you might believe me and believe me not. Believe me or not, we were dreaming of becoming creating in the Bahamas, and before we were introduced to this to the audience and to Lincoln, that we would create in the Western Hemisphere, in the Bahamas, the first training center, the educational training center, training academy that will have 4 courses for captains of our boats, fast and the 55 miles per hour Sea Cheetah flying boat, and the hydrofoil 45 miles per hour Sea Biscuit, for captains, support personnel, right? So somebody who would know how to operate these vessels. Number one, this is profession number one, the training course number one. Number two, technical personnel that will be able to service these vessels. Then, next to a hydrogen technical specialist, and one course will be for people that would be able to service, maintain the hydrogen equipment on the vessels. And the other course, another training course, is for technicians that will be able to maintain and service the hydrogen generation equipment on shore, right? Because we have some crazy ideas about generating fuel in flight, but it's not ready yet. So believe me, we're thinking about this. So there will be another specialty of a training course for those that will service and maintain equipment on shore. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is a true academy. And we were always have been thinking that if we were to choose one location in the Western Hemisphere, it should be Bahamas. Why Bahamas? Because this is where our best possible market is. Because there are so many islands and they disconnected, and there's opportunity to connect them, and they need power. So this is education, and it's not any education; it's high tech education. Yeah. So
Yes.
I'll give you just one example. Every sea cheetah vessel would require a crew of at least 2 captains, and each vessel would require 3 shifts. It would have to have 3 shifts. So we need to train per one vessel at least per one vessel that many captains. And we have our first orders in Asia, pre-orders, for 30 vessels with an option for 15. So that require roughly 100 people trained to operate those vessels. This is just captains. Then you have on the ground personnel, and these are dozens of people, dozens. So we easily, in the context of just Bahamas, we're looking at hundreds of graduates of this academy.
Wow, that's really powerful. You know, and I really enjoyed it. I flew over to West Palm last week, and I got to meet with Deekta, who again did work for Halliburton and SpaceX and other companies, and I saw his passion for this. It's like he had the hydrogen part of it. He's the expert in that, and you guys brought this whole thing together. When I looked at all of the parties who came together, it was like a perfect storm of what everyone is skilled at, and you guys came together to make this thing come to life. And you're definitely eyeing the Bahamas for this, and I'm honored that you would look at us and consider us, because what most people would do is go to the government. You know, what they did was they look to the future and they see us as visionary like them. They have read. Well, you can say, Serge, you've read Vision 2030. What do you think about what you saw in our transportation plan that you've seen?
You know, uh, uh, I guess marriages or couples they meet in heaven, right? So I would use this allegory, but how interesting is that certain things happen at the right place at the right time, and I feel with the right people. I think your team is dreaming, and we're just here to your dream. You've been dreaming, and all of a sudden here we can we've been dreaming the same thing, and we've been dreaming about Bahamas too. It's just it happens at the right time in the right place, and hopefully you see in us a good partners
Awesome.
for the industry, for the people, for the country.
Well, I can tell you this. Um, After meeting in Florida, after our meetings here, and going through this and putting together a real plan to transform this country, I can tell you this, and I'm going to say this to you publicly and commit to this. As soon as we become the government, if the Bahamians decide to vote for that, on day one, this project begins. Not on day two, not on day three. This begins on day one. And you know that there are many ways that this can be funded right now. One of them is through blue carbon credits. As you know, what do you know about blue carbon credits?
Yeah, I know some. I never looked for any kind of uh, government or the multi-government financing. So I don't know, frankly, I don't know much about it. But I know that's something that will be very beneficial. We could be very beneficial for.
Yes, and we can use blue carbon credits to fund this because of what it's going to be doing. Our government is already, they already have in principle access to over $11 billion in blue carbon credits. I've shown everyone the documentation to that. Their problem is they can't show the use for it. The
Hmm.
only thing that to be able to access it. So the only thing that they can think of is maybe saving the mangroves and that kind of stuff. And there's not a lot of money needed in that. But with these kinds of projects, this is a blue carbon credit project. This is going to benefit our ocean. Uh, it's going to benefit in a lot of ways. It's going to benefit our entire nation. And so this is something that we can get access for to fund this very easily. Even outside of the blue carbon credits, I can tell you that our government goes to the House of Assembly for permission to borrow 500 million or borrow $1 billion without even thinking about it. And we don't see where the money goes. I can tell you that we are going to, when we borrow, it's going to be for things that we can make money from. That's going to pay for that loan and benefit our nation. And this is just something that we can do with that. We're going to fund this and we're going to go heavily into this because every Bahamian has heard in this few minutes the different benefits, not just the transportation, not just the tourist attraction, not just Medivac, because now you can move persons. If an elderly person wants to live in Long Island and they have a health issue, they can jump on one of these vessels and get to Nassau in minutes. And so now it solves the problem. Now people can commute. You can live in Eleuthera and commute to New Providence just to work and go back home in the evening. And so we can farm in the Southern Islands. You can farm in Long Island, and one of these vessels are big, and you can take the produce and you can send that produce to any of our islands every day. And so now you can move our produce around. So now it makes sense to farm in our southern islands. This solves a lot of the problems that we have because it connects the Bahamas like Rome connected to their roads, like America connected to their highway and railroads. I'm going to call this the Golden Road Project because not the Silk Road, the Golden Road Project, because this is going to connect the Bahamas. And just so you know, a road is actually a sea lane. All right, uh, giving the what we drive on the name road is kind of a nickname. But like you know, the Belt and Road Project, the belt is actually the streets and the highways, and the road is actually the sea lanes. So that's why I'm calling this the Golden Road Project. And our golden roads are going to connect every single island in this country. And every single day, you're going to be able to jump on a plane and go to Crooked Island for the evening. We also want to develop attractions on our southern islands. I'm gonna announce this now. I'm gonna preempt what's gonna be happening next week, and I'm gonna announce this now. One of our shadow ministries that we're going to have um, in our next week, we're gonna announce you. I won't say who it is, but we're gonna have a shadow minister with responsibility for our southern islands because our southern islands need to be developed. Just like a previous government did a ministry of Grand Bahama, we're going to have a ministry of shadow ministry of Grand Bahama, a shadow ministry of Abaco, and a shadow ministry of our southern islands to show where our focus is. And so our southern islands are a key to our future. Grand Bahama is the key, and that economy is going to rival Singapore. And this is important for that to happen. That's going to rival Singapore and other great nations. Abaco, rebuilding Abaco is extremely important. We're heading to Abaco in a couple of days, but our vision for Abaco is second to none. But also, all of the potential is in our southern islands. Our most beautiful beaches, sorry, Exuma, you know, I'm from Exuma. Our most beautiful beaches are in our southern islands. The beaches on Crooked Island is second to none in the world. And so we are going to be able to build marina resorts on all of these islands. We are going to expand marinas all over the Bahamas so that boat lovers, the marina industry right now is $150 million. The government just killed it, but we're going to bring it back. We're going to remove those fees from the marina industry. Why? Sorry, Serge, I just got a segue here to educate the public. Why am I going to remove the fees? We don't want to make the money from the boat just coming and landing. We want to make the money that they're going to spend while they're here. We're going to benefit from that. When they land, why are you haggling them for a few $100s when they're going to spend that in your grocery stores? These guys can sometimes spend tens of thousands of dollars, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars. They're going to hire Bahamians to clean their boats and maintain and do all sorts of things, to buy their groceries, etc. And so, why are we haggling them, trying to make the money of them just landing? Think about that. And this is how a real businessman thinks. We want you in the door. And then when you come in, that's when you are going to spend the money, and we're going to make the money from you being present. But what's happening now, the government put high fees on them, and persons are sailing, they're passing over us and going to Turks and Caicos. They're going to Cayman Islands, they're going to Virgin Islands. So we're going to transform that. And so this kind of the Golden Road is going to connect our southern islands so that people have a reason to go there, and our vision for these southern islands is going to be able to create new economies there. People are going to have a reason to live there. Many of us are afraid to live there because you get stuck when you go there. Now that problem is going to be solved. Tourists don't go there because you're going to be stuck when you go there. And so we're gonna transform all of it. Also, elderly people don't want to live there because if you get sick, you know, airlift is $5,000. All right, and so this will be much cheaper because it's fueled by water. And so we have an amazing vision for this country, and people just have to decide to get it. So, Serge, I just want to say to you that our sovereign wealth fund is going to invest in this. We're going to partner with you guys, and so all Bahamians are going to benefit from the existence of this thing, from tourists using it and Bahamians using it, and it's going to solve a lot of the problems that we have. But like I said, we are willing to partner with you as a nation on this, and so every business has to raise funds. But I can tell you that a part of that, we are going to partner so that we have ownership in this. How does that sound, Serge?
That sounds tremendous. I'm holding myself not to interject. You're hitting so many points, and these points are, first of all, my senior team background comes from investment world. We would not be just sitting there. This is my fifth startup, this company. I'm part investment bank and private equity venture capital professional on one side. On the other side, I'm an entrepreneur. So this is my fifth startup, and a last one. It's going to last forever because we're creating a legacy
Yes.
for decades, maybe hopefully more to come. But what I'm saying is this: we will be actively looking for funding and bringing investors and co-investors to the Bahamas for our project, for your in the infrastructure, for your connectivity development. We'll not be sitting still. We already have been thinking and planning to work on a blue bond issue that could, the proceeds can be applied to this exact development, etc. So we also going to be raising money for our joint project. It's great that you're talking about there will be funds available. We always. It's not that we want to reach ourselves. We want to get this thing done, and this will be done. This will be executed, no matter what. The other thing in specifics, medical transport, medical evacuation, that's very important. We can really cut time, increase comfort of the sick or those in need of medical attention, because very often you can't go on a speedboat, or it's cost prohibitive to go on a plane. So taking our vessels will be much more comfortable, low cost, and faster. I have to tell you, from transportation point of view, our vessel operate on 70 to 75% EBITDA margin. There is no transportation in vessel or car in the world or business that operates on this this margin. And also on the medical thing, I want to mention that these flows that we have, they can become clinics. They can be a medical
Yes.
offices, and we can place them, and they will be powered by hydrogen. They can be placed in the remote locations, or can double as something else, right? So that's another thing. And this is not a capital construction, just a boat, and that actually can go from one location to another. Think of a
You can move the clinic around in our southern islands.
Exactly. So all this,
Yes. And when I was talking about blue carbon credits earlier, I was just so excited, so I misspoke. I was actually talking about blue bonds.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Bahamas has done blue bonds, and this is great
Yes.
because there's been a precedent of this kind of capital raising for the country, and this is a great application, use of funds.
Yes.
Oh,
and many
and-
Bahamians
yeah.
don't know that the Bahamas is already using blue bonds.
And another thing I want to mention for small businesses and ability to grow, we already engaged with one of the world's leading sustainable power and transportation leasing companies that agreed in principle to back us up. We just need looking for application specific market, not only for the vessels, but also for power. That means that if a small business or a company or a local government or municipality, whatever there is in Bahamas, wants to utilize, not have a tremendous capital outlay, but lease some of the equipment, there is a way to do it.
Yes. Awesome. I love this. We're going to take some questions from in here, and we're also going to open the phone lines. We have a few minutes left. We're going to open the phone lines. We're going to go a little bit over because the first part of our broadcast was interrupted. So we're going to open the phone lines. 803-5995 is the phone lines for anyone who wants to call in if they have any questions about this, any suggestions. What do you see are the possibilities from this whole thing? I think that every Bahamian with a soul right now is excited about where we can go. And this is what we've been talking about from the beginning. Not just stuff that has been done, but what can we do and where can we go? And again, we're talking to people from all over the world so that we can build this new Bahamas. Everything that we have proposed is already being done somewhere, to be honest with you. It's just that we have to stop thinking small. And so, well, I'll get the studio audience, but let me get the phone line since it's already ringing. Let's go to the phone lines. Good afternoon, you're live. Turn down your TV.
Good afternoon. Hello.
Good afternoon. Go ahead. You're live.
Hi. Good afternoon, Mr. Bain, and good afternoon to your panelists.
Yes. Turn down your TV or whatever you're listening on because it's going to give us an echo.
I will bring that down now. This is Engineer Bastian.
Go ahead.
I'm very intrigued by what I hear from your guests.
So the person on the phone line is the engineer. This is Mr. Bastian, who used to be he used to run or be a manager at Water and Sewerage Corporation.
Well, I'm actually a marine engineer by profession.
Awesome.
So there's a couple of things that I didn't hear your guests discuss.
Yes.
Some of the challenges with the Air Force. As you are aware, in the Bahamas, we have a lot of climatic conditions that result in heavy sea conditions, and airfoils, hydrofoils, don't do very well in those types of situations. They're more favorable to calm sea conditions, and you know, in the Bahamas, because we have both the Atlantic and the Caribbean Sea, throughout our islands, we have sort of rough sea conditions on a frequent basis, particularly when you're talking about the months of probably from October coming around into about March, when we start to get the cold fronts coming in. And for an airfoil boat, they are normally susceptible to excessive air pressure under the boat that results in blowover. They're very unstable in rough water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're extremely sensitive to trim and weight distribution situations, which again would result in tipping of the vessel.
Great question. All the lines, we can
so-
answer you.
Yeah, I'd like to hear your guests discuss some of the limitations and drawbacks of his particular boats. I know I believe they haven't been used to any major extent. So I'd like to hear his feedback on that.
Okay. Go ahead,
Sure.
Serge.
Thank you. Well, it's a great, first of all, very nice to meet you. Great to hear from a professional that knows very well what he's talking about. We have two types of vessels. One is a hydrofoil, another is wing and ground effect. So the wing and ground effect, it takes there are whole following in the world about wing ground effect vessels that take off water and then go on air cushion, not touching water at all. This is our largest vessel. This is our flagship vessel, and this will come a little bit later. The hydrofoils, of course, have limitations, but it also depends on the height of the foils and the structure of the foils. If it would not go in the storm, rough sea conditions, it depends on the how rough sea conditions are. So the length of the foil, the design of the foils, is what we very diligently and carefully planning and engineering to meet these requirements, to meet this sea condition. But there will be it's not an the foils, which is a short range. They are up to 200 kilometers. They would not go in rough weather. There will be limitations. By the way, they're also retractable. We're making them retractable. This also benefits other, marine life, coral reefs, etc. So that has that benefit to it. But we do a study for a specific area and take into consideration wind, sea state, salinity of the water, humidity level, all this while we're designing our boats. Our technology comes from America's Cup, and you probably know that America's Cup is what Formula One is to the automotive. So the technologies that we're commercializing, they are roughly 10 years away from being implemented in the mainstream marine. This is how advanced we are in our technologies. But again, great question, and we take all those things into consideration.
Well, certainly, one of the things I like is the marrying of hydrogen as a fuel source. But I can tell you, I've operated vessels throughout, and I'm talking about commercial vessels throughout the Bahamas, and your sea state conditions and wind conditions are going to be a challenge for your vessels. I will tell you that straight up.
What sea state we're talking about?
He means when there's rough seas.
Right, but how rough?
I don't, right. So, Bastian, there are two types of vessel. One is the hydrofoil, which goes into the water, and there's another one that flies. I think it flies about 10.
It flies on air cushion. It's going to
Yes.
experience the very same thing because there's a pressure wave generated between the vessel and the water. And if you have very rough seas, that pressure wave will become very unstable.
No,
I can tell you that's first. That's one of the.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Sorry, I will answer this. That's not true. We fly 3 meters at least or more when you have to overcome an obstacle of the highest crest. When so the limitations are at takeoff and landing, not at the flight. So in windy ground effect, the more dynamic is the wave. We're not talking about store. I can give you specific numbers in what sea state we can fly, take off, and land. We are roughly twice on takeoff and landing the conditions of seaplanes. So we can take off and land up to 2-meter waves. We have some certain specific proprietary. This is takeoff and landing. This is not the flight. But in terms of the air cushion, the more dynamic is the wave, the more dynamic is the air cushion. The more dynamic is the air cushion, the less we use fuel, in our case hydrogen, to use the marching motors. Because the air cushion, when the water is flat, the air cushion is not effective. The ground effect is not effective. Those of us or you who are commercial pilots know that ground effect, this air cushion, kicks in when the plane lands on runway and takes off runway. It goes hanging for a few seconds, and this is where you experience the air cushion. We're using this air cushion continuously because there are waves and there is air disturbance that create more active air cushion. And the greater the wing, the bigger the wing is, the more effective is the ground effect. So we're using ground effect plus energy density of hydrogen. And this is 1 + 1, 3 or 10. In terms of hydrofoil, I can tell you that we can go up to sea state 4, possibly 5. And this is very advanced.
Yeah.
This is not leisure foiling vessel. This is commercial grade fleet vessels designs.
Yeah. So, Bastian, thank you for those questions. They're very good question. I can tell you that's the first question that I had when I met with Dikta, who is the partner who works with Star. What is it? SpaceX. I'm sorry. Who works with SpaceX? And there's some things that SpaceX accomplished that people thought was impossible in terms of what they did. I can tell you these guys are very professional, and as you can hear, they know what they're talking about, and this is going to get done. I think that this is groundbreaking, and it's being done. They've already built that what you're talking about in terms of the Sea Biscuit, and it's going to be phenomenal. All right. Thank you for your call, man. Thank you for your great questions. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we have some questions in studio. Go ahead.
I pretty much wanted to find out if this system was in operation anywhere now that we can maybe have as a model to say this is happening this place right now with these vessels.
She wants to know if the system is operating now anywhere where we can say that it works.
Yeah. So hydrofoil, out of 8 hydrofoil, hydrogen powered, it's hydrogen electric because the motors are electric, the fuel is hydrogen. So there were 8 hydrogen electric foiling catamarans built in the world up to now, today. 6 were built in our factory. And they are operating in America's Cup for already 2 cups. That means 6 years. give you an example. To go, if your audience knows what is, speed in knots, 35 knots, roughly, let me say, 55 miles per hour. The vessel on a hydrogen electric foiling catamaran can go for 6 hours at the speed of 55 miles per hour without refueling. And you know how much they will pay for hydrogen fuel? Roughly $150.
Wow.
Where do you get this? Nowhere. So this has been done before. We are working with a leading foiling and hydrogen generation companies around the world, from Toyota down, at a very, very high level. And there are more and more of this every day, because people try to get. And I think I can share with you something sort of very confidentially. Not on the foiling vessel, but on the winged ground effect vessel, we have some prototype solutions. They're not commercially available to us. That will enable us to go in the sea cheetah at airline speed.
Yes.
Faster than
Yeah.
existing planes.
Yeah.
It'll be for larger vessels. It'll be for 50, 100-seater. Not today. This is 5 years from now, but already have this prototype. So, but on
Awesome.
the existing vessels, 6 out of 8 were built in our factory. And on the ground effect, it has not been built yet. We're just in the prototyping stage. So this will come later.
Yes.
But we
Awesome.
want to start
Let's
with
go.
hydropower.
Okay, let's go to another call. Call you live. Go ahead.
Yes, Lincoln, I think you may know this is. And the reason I call, are we talking about one vessel for freight and one vessel for passenger, or are we saying one vessel will be used for the both of them? I have some questions related to freight, if it is so.
Go ahead, Serge.
Yeah, another. Thank you very much. Excellent question, because it hits right to our, design and application.
I'm not clear. So
Yeah, hold on. He's answering you. Yeah, he heard you.
Okay.
Yeah, he heard you. You're asking about whether you're gonna have a separate vessel for freight and a separate vessel for passengers. He's gonna answer you right now.
Yeah, the answer, gentlemen, is no. We design a vessel that can be used either for passenger or for cargo. More than that, we can have a configuration of that it could be daily a passenger transport, and at night, because it's not a seaplane, it's not a plane, it can be operated 24/7. You fold the seats, or you take the seats even out, if it's just will take more time. And you can transport small cargo. You can transport parcels. I will tell you one question that I was asked. Can you, with your vessel, transport fresh fish? And I said, nobody asked me that before. And then I talked to my team and say, there is nothing that would prevent putting in ice boxes and putting fresh fish on them and be able to transport fresh fish from a fishing vessel to shore and then maybe to airplanes and to New York, right? Cutting at least 3 times the speed of delivery of fish. And imagine what this could do to the industry, to the fishing industry. So we are absolutely agnostic, or we don't care how the vessels are used. It's just a question of internal configuration, but they can be used for anything that you need. Medical evacuation, transporting fish, small parcels, passenger, VIP tourists. It all depends how you set it inside.
Next question.
Yes. Second question is, I have a concern about the loading and offloading of freight cars, nuggets, because he's talking about just being over the sea. As I know, a freight operation, they would accumulate freight all week, put it in the container, then have a large vehicle take that container back up to that container on the dock and drop off to the container on the other side. Someone will pick up the container. If this is the hub is over the sea, I would like to know how does that work, or you intend to have two hubs, one for freight and one for passenger.
Could you please repeat the questions because I couldn't hear you?
Basically, what he's saying is he is wondering how you're going to load freight if the vessel is overseas. He was wondering logistically how that would work to
Yeah.
load overseas.
Yes. So the sea float, the floating platform, and each of our vessels are designed to have a retractable ramp that goes from underneath the floor. So if the vessel comes to the float there is a retractable ramp, like a retractable floor that's pulled out, and people can go on it, get on, get off, and the cargo can be loaded, unloaded from the vessel that comes to this float on shore to the float. Then after this happened, the vessel can go away, carrying other people or giving another destination or cargo, and the float, because it has its own motor, will on a slow speed travel to on shore, to the marina or to any shore, even there is no no marina, no port, retract that floor, that ramp, and be able to load, unload, and load or unload the cargo or disembark people. So one vessels are very fast; they come to the float, and the float, whether it's a lounge for passenger or a barge for cargo, has its own propulsion, so it moves slowly to the shore. That's how it's designed. That's how we're envisioning it.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for your call, caller.
Okay, thank you.
All right. All right, you had a question in studio. Speak loudly.
My name is Stephen McQueen. I'm the Nassau Village candidate. This has
Nice to meet you.
a great many applications. I'm wondering whether there will be, in going forward in the future, the opportunity to, as it would be based here, to move this to to connect this with other small island states, other nations, still
Yes.
maintaining it as a base here in the Bahamas. That would be my first question. My second question,
One at a time.
sure.
Go ahead, Serge.
Absolutely yes. The answer is absolutely yes. I've traveled extensively when I was in the investment world. I was advising Trinidad and Tobago Sovereign Wealth Fund. It was maybe 20 years ago. I'll give you my background in a minute also, you understand where I'm coming from. But so they told me in the Caribbean, everything is, planes are too expensive, boats are too slow. All the CARICOM trade is stuck because the Caribbean Economic Development Organization, right? CARICOM, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
They're stuck because it's very expensive to build an airport. Different island nations are arguing who will bear the cost of building another airport. An airport is $1 billion. So everything is very slow or very expensive. So having a fleet of these type of vessels will enable to start with, immediate connectivity between the Bahamas and the nearby nations. This will produce trade, economic development, tourism. Yeah. And then down the road, I don't see any reason why out of the Bahamas, and we can even go all the way and talk about Bahamian quote unquote flag carrier. Yeah. New flag
Yes.
carrier that will be able to open stations or hubs, transportation hubs throughout the Caribbean on the Bahamian flag, or as a private-public partnership or whatever that could be. So this experience that could be started in the Bahamas can roll out to other countries first nearby in the Caribbean and then throughout. If I understood your question correctly.
Maintaining
Yeah.
the Bahamas as its base,
Sure.
which
Sure.
segues into, for me, an original
Well,
question.
I just want to say this. Uh, that's one of the first things I brought up
Yeah.
with Serge when we discussed this, because we're not just about the Bahamas. We talked about going into the cruise ship industry and et cetera, and also with transport. But we want to connect the Bahamas, not one Bahamas. And Serge will tell you, I said we need to have one Caribbean, and we were going to be able to connect
Great,
the
great
Caribbean.
name.
Yeah. Connect the Caribbean islands through this same kind of process, through this investment, and be able to bring it together. The Caribbean has always been disconnected, and I think that the solution would be able to have one Caribbean and the benefits. I can tell you that I've done business all over the Caribbean, different types, and CARICOM has some advantages from them working together and being able to do business across each other. And I think that the Bahamas can actually take advantage of that and be able to connect those islands even better than they are connected now. And now you can connect the Lesser Antilles all the way to the Greater Antilles, all the way to the Bahamas through these kinds of situations. Next question.
Which brings me to my initial question of ownership and how would that factor? Because while we understand investment and investors need to benefit,
Well, that's a question for us. They're making the vessel.
right?
And so that's a question for how we're going to do
How are we
this.
going to
Yes.
engage Bahamian
But definitely,
ownership?
as I said in discussions that I've already had with them, that as a nation, our sovereign wealth fund is going to invest in this, and every Bahamian is going to have shares in our sovereign wealth fund. And so that's, well, the companies that the sovereign wealth fund enables.
Yeah.
All right. The same way Dubai does it. And so, of course, Serge is an expert on sovereign wealth funds. He has advised countries on sovereign wealth funds. And so he knows exactly what needs to happen to get this done. That's correct, Serge?
Sure. And we can also look into doing the following structure, which is relatively new to me, but in the first country that we succeeded in signing the first letter of intent is a format of public-private partnership, where both parties contribute something. Maybe the government, the nation, any nation can contribute its public transportation to the PPP and some funds, and the private company would contribute technology, also jointly go raise additional capital, allocate technology, training, infrastructure, which is very important. Without fueling infrastructure and without transport infrastructure, these boats would not fly.
Yeah.
And this is the connectivity of all this. So public-private partnership is a great way to do it. Also, because it gives continuity. You usually form a public-private partnership for many, many years, sometimes decades. And that gives private investor comfort, and it ensures that to the country that their economic goals, energy development, transportation development, infrastructure, it taken care of for long term. Not like there is one company came here, done it, made money and left, right? So
Thank you so much. We have another call on the line. We got 6 more minutes. Let's go ahead, caller. Go. You're live.
Just wanted to compliment the panel today for an audacious plan for the Caribbean and for our Commonwealth of the Bahamas. In drawing to the conversation and the introduction of the vessels, which is to be introduced to connect our islands for better commerce and what we will then term interstate commerce amongst our islands, is I talking about the right plan for a nation moving forward. Now, a gentleman called and asked about freight. I think the initial plans for these types of vehicles for the transit purposes are basically designed for that. We will also see that within the Vision 2030, the other logistical plans that are there for cargo to be moved from islands to islands. So this design that we're seeing now, I think, is the perfect design for the intent and not going beyond, but for a transit effective motion for for commerce amongst neighboring countries. And you said something very pointed with Caron. They opened the doors for inter-island transactions and goods and so forth. So it will really open up the door for us to find out what each other needs and actually be able to accommodate them in that sense. And that brings on more commerce for the country. So this plan, I think, is a righteous plan. And I would like to see it develop because we have never attempted such a great idea such as this. And it's even more feasible and more affordable in the sense of we don't need to go and drop pillars in the oceans to connect our islands. This is making it more effectively.
Yes.
So thank you for the plan.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. I saw Colin trying to get back on here, but he got disconnected again. He's probably having his own issues. I want to say to the Bahamian people that the Bahamas has a great future. We are the Wakanda of the Caribbean. We have an amazing natural resource called aragonite, an amazing natural resource called sand that the whole world needs. We have a amazing natural resource called limestone that the whole world needs. We have other amazing natural resources, including salt, et cetera, et cetera. Well, you're going to hear more about that during next week, during our Shadow Minister's launch. But what we need for this country right now is not parties, it's not rallies, it's vision. We're not interested in conversations about, building parks and building docks. We're interested in how we can move this country forward. And the first thing that we're going to do on day one is to connect our islands. That's the start of it. That is the vision that we have. We have the means to do it. We're talking to these professionals. And can you tell us some more about your background? You said you tell us more
yeah,
about
sure.
your background.
First of all, before we cut up, I want to thank you for the opportunity. And it's an honor for me to be presenting this, our vision that is so close aligned with the vision that you're talking about for the Bahamas. My background is that I came to the United States in 91, washed cars, cleaned houses, then got the first job through New York Times, volunteered 2 years for investment banker. He finally offered me a job. In 95, I became a junior investment banker. So I spent 20 years in the US, in New York City. I majored in Spanish and Latin American studies. I speak fluent Spanish. I know very well Latin American culture. I speak Spanish like I speak English. I'm originally from Russia. I come from an aerospace family. And I always wanted to focus on things that are uh, in a practical manner will change, make a big impact. And in this company, Colin, Breeze, Stephen Napier, others, my colleagues, and the team of engineers, we found this niche that is not only highly profitable power generation sector, but also and very effective boats. But it happens to be very sustainable, and it allows a nation like Bahamas embrace this. So my personal grumbles from humble beginning, it's all about respect. It's all about listening and understanding, and I think that we can do great things together. We'll be here to support you and to lead or follow.
Thank you, man. We appreciate that, and we appreciate your vision, and we appreciate the fact that you saw our vision and you were willing to work together. I'm going to tell you what is about to happen. You could expect this. Your phone is going to start ringing, and you're going to get some calls from from the other parties in this country, and they're going to try to tell you now to come and work with them. I know you have no problem working with anyone, but they benefit from fossil fuels. They own the company called Focal that keeps this country back by only allowing things that will bring fossil fuel to this country, and that's the problem. And so our mission is to try to end that. Not that we're against them as people; they're Bahamians who want to make money for themselves. I have no problem with that. But the problem is, if you're not growing, you're dead. That's the law of nature. If you're not evolving, you're going to die. And that's a law of nature. And normally, throughout history, those who are making money or benefiting from things the way it is don't want change. And so I can commit to you on this day, to you and all of your partners, that uh, on day one, we're gonna get this started in the Bahamas, and that we're gonna transform the world through this, because it's gonna start here, but this is something that's gonna change this entire world. So you have my commitment of that after doing my own research and meeting with you guys and doing my due diligence. You have my commitment that we're gonna transform the Bahamas together.
Thank you. And I have another saying: success, 10% of success idea, 90% is execution.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
what execution, and we
Yes.
will work as a team to get to accomplish this goal and vision.
Okay, right before we go, we have another call on the line. We're almost out of time. Caller, you live. Go ahead.
Hey, good night, Lincoln.
Good night.
Good night. I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Well, first of all, Lincoln, I would like to thank your guest for its brilliant ideas and vision. This is in alignment with your vision, Lincoln, for this country and trying to put us on the right track. I hope you continue to establish a good working relationship with partners, investors like Mr. Sage, who in my view, pioneer and futuristic in his thinking. I think he had connected with the right person in this country to not just implement the idea, but expand it and also bring in more ideas that are similar in nature that the Bahamian people could benefit from. Lincoln, I can tell you, you are the right person for this country to lead this country in a time like this. We need persons like you who are passionate, who also are visionary in your thinking. There's no other party at this time who had done anything remotely close to what you are trying to do. And I believe in
short order. Everything that you seek out to do, it will happen. Just continue to align yourself with persons like Sage, who also wants to do well for indigenous persons of the various countries that he seeks to invest in.
Thank you, my brother. Appreciate your call.
You're
Thank you very
welcome.
much.
All right. So, Serge, we're gonna disconnect from you. Of course, we're gonna be in touch, and we're gonna continue to plan this out and to have this as something that's gonna connect the whole Bahamas. We're gonna dry some tears of persons who can't get medical attention. We're gonna help our farmers. We're gonna connect our islands and connect our families, and spread business throughout the Bahamas with the Golden Road, which is powered by the sea cheetah and the sea biscuit. So we wanna thank you. I'm so sorry we couldn't get Colin and Dikta on here. It was Dikta's passion that drew me to this. When he sold this to me, we sat and spoke for hours, and it was his passion, and especially being such a world-renowned person, working with SpaceX and Halliburton. I mean, you name it, the foremost person dealing with these kinds of things. That experience really blew my mind. So this is something that we're gonna shake hands and we're gonna get it done, and we hope that the Bahamian people votes for a new Bahamas.
Thank you. I also want to say that I spent a year and a half talking to Dicta family about this, and it's the right thing, the right team, the right place, the right country. And we will
Yes.
not fail you. We will succeed. We'll get things
Thank
done.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. See you later.
Bye.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to make this clear to Bahamians. As a Bahamian, I am tired of the back and forth of the failure of the PLP and FNM. I'm tired of the lack of vision and this country moving nowhere. I'm tired of it. Let me take this caller since they're calling in. Caller, you live. Go ahead. Go ahead, caller, you live. Caller, you live. Okay, guess we lost them. I'm tired of the failure. 52 years and you can't build a hospital? Why? 52 years and you can't connect our islands? Why? 52 years and we can't get proper education? Why? Because everything that makes us suffer, they benefit from. And so that's why they are benefiting from your suffering. They're benefiting by keeping the Bahamas back. We are in the mouth of America. We should have been one of the greatest countries in the world right now. But guess what? We're on our way. We are, and we're not going to expose everyone we're meeting with. Only persons like them that we're sure aren't gonna, work with the other people or do something like that. Dikta actually is an investor in the Bahamas. He has investments in the Bahamas. The other one that couldn't get on, who works for SpaceX. Um, I want to tell you that we are reaching out to professionals around the world so that we can have a better Bahamas. And guess what? More than we're reaching out to them, they're reaching out to us. I didn't seek them out, they sought me out. There are people all over the world watching this Sunday live. There are people in Africa that are being inspired. Politicians reach out and call. There are people in Trinidad, Guyana. Someone said they were inspired to form a party. There are people in Jamaica calling us. This movement is inspiring the world, and everyone knows the potential of the Bahamas. But when you go to our family islands, we don't have ambulances. A foreign investor was willing to build a hospital. They declined him. We don't need that Can you imagine that? Another foreign investor was willing to donate $3 million to the Princess Margaret Hospital for whatever they need. Do you know that they denied that? Remember, someone wanted to give Dr. Minnis, those two was this administration, $5 million for our hospital. He said no. They wanted to build a health center. They wanted to build a health center in the Bahamas. The health center that they actually eventually took to Cayman Islands. Guess what? Dwayne Sands then block it. Call you live. Go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon or good evening, I should say.
Good afternoon. You're our last caller for the day.
Oh, awesome. So I just wanted to actually make a recommendation. Basically, with regard to the gentleman that was just on Surge, I think that in terms of rolling out with that idea, it's a great idea, but I think in terms of rolling out, it should be done in phases, just to make certain that all is well within the vessels are kosher, just like the engineer mentioned when he called it. But as for the other uses of it, I think it would be very good for the islands itself, the resourcefulness of it for water provisions and electricity. So I think that even in that sense, it would still be a good thing.
Yeah. I will tell you that these guys are professionals. And so they're not going to risk their reputation, etc., on taking any kind of risk. And they know what they're doing. And if I tell you the other companies that these guys are involved with, it will actually blow your mind and you will have confidence in them. SpaceX isn't going to deal with persons who don't know what they're doing, and neither with Halliburton. That's one of the top companies in the world that deals with engineering. And so that's just two examples I wanted to give because they're more public. So these fellas know what they're doing, and so I believe it. They're professional and they're going to make this happen, and we're going to help them to make this happen. We're going to do what we have to. When Elon Musk said that he was going to make it a rocket that was reusable, everyone said that makes no sense. That's impossible. How are you going to land that rocket back again? Well, we're talking to some of the people that contributed to making that possible. And so, anytime you have innovation in this world, you have skeptics. Uh, Pessimists always sound right. Optimists always make things happen. And so when they were moving from, well, they had the horse and carriage. They told them it's impossible to have a carriage without a horse. But now we have a car, which is short for carriage. Um, and when they were going to make the train, they said that no, that should be illegal. That can't happen. The scientists actually said that the train was going to be moving so fast that you would be stuck to the back of the seat. You'll have nosebleeds and it could hurt people, etc., because of the speed. You know how fast the first train was going to be going? 15 miles per hour. Usain Bolt almost runs 30 miles per hour. Runs. And so, as a people, we have to keep moving forward. I think it's time. We've always lawyers that run this country, and lawyers have a precedent. So only what could be done is what has already been done. If that wasn't done before or said before, you had a ruling on that before, it's not legitimate. And that's their backwards thinking. But now we have to be forward thinking and forward moving, like people in Singapore, like people in Dubai and Qatar, and all of these other countries that are moving forward. I think it's time to give it a try because this one ain't working. All right. So thank you for your call. I appreciate it. Looking forward to talking to you some more. This one is trying to get in. So now you're our last caller. Call you live. Go ahead.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Ben. How you doing today?
I'm awesome.
All right, I also want to say good afternoon to your panel out there. I'm sorry that I came in late. I got a little piece of what we were talking about, but I have a question I need to ask about an election, if that's possible.
Go ahead, man.
Okay. I was talking to a lady that said she works at election days and stuff like that, and she said that the purple card won't be counted if they doing this biometric card. It won't be counted unless there's a tie, and then they'll use them to count it.
That is false. The Parliamentary Registry Department actually called a meeting with the three parties that are represented in the House of Assembly. And at that meeting, and we actually videoed the meeting, and I was going to play it today, but we was having technical difficulties in the beginning of the show. Um, uh, the purple card continues to be legitimate for this upcoming election. And so you don't need to do anything. You don't need to verify. There was a false flyer going around on social media saying you must verify in order to vote. The PRD guaranteed us that that did not come from them. They don't know where that come from, and they actually believe that one of the political parties sent that out being mischievous. And so all of us there told them that it didn't come from us. All right, we don't know where that came from, and that is false information. As long as you have your purple card, you are registered. Now, if you move, you must transfer. All right. But as long as you already have the purple card, that's all you need. There's nothing else you need to do. There's nothing to be afraid of. You will not come to vote and they tell you no. You can vote with that card, with any government ID, which includes your driver's license or your NIB, etc., or your purple card or your passport. And so as long as you have them, you straight. All right? And so that's it. You want to say something?
In order to transfer, they must be wherever they are for a minimum of 3 months.
Yeah. In order to transfer, you must be wherever you say you are, because you don't actually have to be there now. You just have to go and point on the map and say you're there. And that's we had a heated back and forth over that with the PRD, but I guess that's what the government wants, so that's what they get. Now, there's a reason they want that. And we have to do another live this week just to explain to people how this thing works. But that's how it works, okay? But thanks for your call.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
All
Have a
right.
great day.
And so, on all areas, as you can see, we are working with persons. You'll remember a few months ago, I had a live with the most creative man in the world, the man who created the educational system that transformed the world that they use in Singapore and other nations. Let me make it clear to you. I didn't reach out to them; they reached out to me. There are people watching our lives all over the world. All right, and so I thought I heard feedback just now. Yeah, so there's people watching these lives from all over the world. The phone's still ringing, and they know that there's a lot of potential in the Bahamas. We're like California back in the gold rush days. Call you live. You're the last caller.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm awesome. How you doing?
I'm blessed, through the grace of God. So, man, let me tell you something. This is called vision. This is something, for the first time in the country where, we have a political party with leader who present this country with a vision. And what I have heard from the investors on really introducing a system to the Bahamas, I believe that the Bahamian people is so excited about what they heard this evening, and I believe you have changed a lot of persons' mind about what they heard. And let me say to all of you, continue to do what you all are doing, because this country needs not only a facelift, but this country needs a total change. And I believe that the COI, under your leadership, Mr. Bain, and all of the persons that you have around yourself with, will take this country into the New Bahamas.
Thank you,
One
my
of the
brother.
things, Mr. Bain, that I just heard you say about persons, of course, we had the last caller call before me, about voting, going to the poll to vote. Now, I want to ask you, because I didn't get a chance to ask Steve McKinney when Mr. Thompson was on his show. They talked about ID, NID cards. Can a person go to the poll and use their NID card? If that is so, you have thousands of Haitians has in their possession NID card. Can
Yes.
they vote with that? I will hang up, and God bless you, and your old man continue to do well.
Thank you,
God bless
man.
the Commonwealth of the Bahamas and the COI and its leadership. God bless you all.
Amen. God bless the new Bahamas. Yeah, as far as I understand, you can vote with a government issued ID, and NIB is one of them. And so I'm calling all Bahamians to stand with us and do what's right.
That's right.
And so we've been meeting with professionals from all different areas. So every area of our vision, we've met with professionals to be able to get this done. And the difference with us and those other parties, they don't want to do nothing that's going to mess up with their oligarchy and mess up with their businesses. And so you come to them with good ideas, they're going to say no. But with us, we want the Bahamas to grow. We want the Bahamas to flourish. And so that's what we're gonna make happen. I wonder if we lost connection. No, I think we're still going. All right. So that's what we're gonna do. For those of you who tuned into us late, for those of you who were watching and you were having interference, I just want to make sure because it's frozen on the system. I just want to make sure that we are still there, still hearing it. Just want to make sure we are still live. Okay, here we go. Just want to make sure for a second. All right. Yeah, we are. All right. So I just want to say this again for those who didn't get it the first time. The FNM is trying to acquire their third port. The FNM steals from the Bahamas on a big level that we won't mind because most Bahamians don't ever feel they loan that kind of stuff anyway, so they won't be paying attention. But they don't realize that they are doing this to keep control of the seven pillars of this economy. Shipping is one of them. They took away the shipping when they conglomerated everything together, took our crown land to do it, took our money to do it, and made one system for the oligarchs in shipping to benefit from. And we are, yeah, they offered some little shares, some little crumbs, but that wasn't the big A shares. Um, and so they did that. They took everything over. Next, they took the cruise port, and we all sat there and watched it. And now they're going to benefit from what we own, and they're going to continue to control it. And not only they control it, but they are like uh, evil taskmasters who are mistreating the people on that dock. The taxi drivers were being abused and beaten and injured. Despicable. What happened to those persons? To Bahamians who should actually be own that, who own it, but they're treated like slaves on a plantation. Um, they took that over. Now they're going for the big one, the Port Authority. And you can tell by who is behind it. John Boswick, that's the FNM and their interests. Uh, the granddaughter of Rupert Roberts, that's the FNM and their interests. That's oligarchs. Rupert Roberts behind, he's a cable, he got Commonwealth Bank than any of them. He's large holder. Name it, that's that oligarch interest. Um, um, the Reese from Canoe, nice guy, good guy, but that's the FNM interests. All right. You'll remember Canoe is what took advantage of menace and nonsense. His legal act of this COVID, and Canoe was benefiting from it. There was scandals because of it. An audit report came out about it, that the money was coming late, or some confusion was going on. That's the FNM getting ready to take before the election even reach. They preparing now so that once they get in from day one, they come and take and do what they have to do. Bahamians reject that. Reject it. They take on a big level. These other people take on a criminal kind of level where we could see it because it's around us. We could see it. So that's what the PLP does. They take on a level that we could see because it could affect us and we see it around us. The FNM takes on a level that we don't even see because, as far as we can say, that ain't concerning us. That we'll never own something like that. So why pay attention to that? That ain't just a little school contracts and these little contracts here and there that we could see and we could fight for. They take it on a big level. You'll open your eyes. There's no vision to take this country forward. We have a vision for the Port Authority. We have a vision for Freeport. We have a vision for Grand Bahama. We have a vision for West End, and even more so, we got a vision for every island on this in this nation, especially the Southern Islands. That's the key. Our Southern Islands is in the tropic zone, and with the vision that we put forward today, and other visions, we're going to be able to bring them. Whenever you have a body in this, and our family islands are suffering from paralysis, we're going to start the flow again. We're going to start the flow. All right. So I want to thank all of you for watching, for being a part of this. To our people in Abaco, remember that we are coming to Abaco on Tuesday. We're going to be in Moores Island. We're going to be at the VIP lounge. We're going to be at the VIP lounge. Let me just get that information for you. We're going to be at Jenny's Takeaway Hall and the VIP lounge. That's 12 o'clock on Tuesday, January 20th. On Wednesday, January 21st, we're gonna have a town hall meeting at 7 p.m. at Grace Gym in Marsh Harbor. So everyone who's in Grand Mama, come join us. Come be there with us. Let's talk about the vision for Grand Mama and what's going on. Not Grand Mama, I'm sorry, Abaco. Abaco. All right, multitasking. I'm sorry, in Abaco. All right, and remember, we're having a prayer and consecration conclave tomorrow, right here at our headquarters, because we have to lead with prayer. If we want change, we gotta put God first, and that's what I believe, and I'm not ashamed. Who don't believe, that's on you, between you and your God or your non-God. But I believe. And so we are putting God first. And so we have a prayer conclave, which is going to be right here at our headquarters tomorrow at 7 p.m. All right, you're going to be 7 p.m. to 8:30. So, so for those running that, we got 8:30 because we got another thing after that. So 7 p.m. to 8:30. So y'all be there and be there on time. Let's start and finish on time. Now, if the Lord take over and do his singing, then we could do with that. Now, but also starting on Sunday through Thursday, we're going to start to release our shadow ministers. And we're going to show you why these people we've presented to you qualifies to run this country. We're going to show you that they are best suited to run this country. No, many of them are not those names you've been hearing around in politics or those names who've been working for the oligarchs and their companies. Those people who've been failing us. Every election they send us some people and they say this is a dream team and look how qualified they are and they nice and they just give out to the poor. Um, and then they fail us. And you're like, wow, what happened to all those qualifications you had? Every single time. I don't want you to be swayed by people coming and giving all kind of things now. Don't sell your vote. I don't want you to be impressed by these people who just all of a sudden they could come and give out everything they want. It's because they want something else. They want to get something. Don't fall for it. We're going to have a great Bahamas, a new Bahamas, a true Bahamas, a Bahamas where all of us benefit. So thank you all so much for watching. See y'all next Sunday at 5 o'clock. Join us at our headquarters as we release the first 5 shadow ministers to the Bahamian public. It's going to be something else. Ladies and gentlemen, see you next time.